Thanks, Anthony. We still have a couple of seats over here if people want to shuffle around, so feel free to, you can walk past here, I will not make fun of you. Thanks, as Anthony said, for all of you coming in, Elva, Dennis and the team at Matrix Global, for, I guess, the opportunity of getting this event together pre the launch of our exciting new Kensington project. So I'm going to try and find a spot here that I'm not going to block, so I might walk a little bit the screen so everyone can see. But the best way to explain, and I apologise to some people in this room who have seen some of this information before, but it's really important before we get into the project to understand who the builder and developer is. And so look, this is some key stats that Elva sort of alluded to before. We have completed 52 projects since 2014 alone. We've got 5 projects that will settle down this year. So currently we've settled down $1.3 billion worth of property, and either under construction or due to start construction or going to be released inside of the next 12 months. We've got a further $1 billion worth of assets we'll be settling down. So very, very exciting times for us. We're a multi-award winning company. For those who aren't familiar with our brand, we only enter into your high-end awards. So that's your UDIA, that's the Urban Development Institute of Australia, HIA Awards, which is your Housing Institute Australia Awards, and your Master Builders Awards. And through 2017, 18, 19 and 20, we're actually one of the Queensland's most awarded builders and developers. Our business model is quite unique. There's no one who has the same, because people say, CJ, who's your competitor in Brisbane? And there isn't one. No one has the same business model as what we put together at Mosaic. So by that, everything that touches our brand, we do ourselves. So that's from site acquisition, research, all the way through sales, marketing, design. We still keep our key group of architects, but we put the designs out to your large architectural firms now. But we still get the same outcome, given that we want those oversized, beautiful apartments, and that's what we deliver. So I think there's a few people in this room who've been through a few of those. In terms of our business model, it doesn't stop there. Okay, so we actually have our own construction team that build everything ourselves as well, which is very, very unique. So what that allows us, it gives us that consistency in time frames, in build quality. Okay, so you've got that peace of mind of knowing, you know, what you see up in these pictures today. This is exactly what we're going to deliver. Post handing over the keys over to our wonderful owners, whether or not they be a landlord or an owner-occupier, we stay on as a caretaker. So what does that mean? There's two things. We're the property managers for all of our projects. You're not locked into using Mosaic Property Management if you're an investor. However, we highly recommend the service, and they are the best in the business. If you're an owner-occupier, obviously you don't need a property manager, but what really drives owner-occupiers into our projects is the fact that we stay on as the caretakers for our assets for the next 25 years. All right, so that's critical. So we're the guys who go out and make sure the building looks beautiful. So as an owner in a building, myself, I know when I come home, my lawns look immaculate, everything's clean and tidy, and I know the building's going to look as good in 25 years as it did at the time of handover and settlement. So we are, I guess, and this is the quickest way for me to explain our company without going on and on and on about it. So we are about 120 staff at the moment. It's across our head office where you're in today. So we're on levels 6 and 5 here. It's a bit quiet here on the weekends. It's quite nice. Very busy Monday to Friday. We also have satellite offices between Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast as well. We've got a track record, and we probably should allude to it. So out of these 52 projects we've completed, all right, we've sold successfully every single one of those off the plan. All right, that's 52 projects off the plan with one exception. It was the Amparo project where we settled down in the middle of COVID-19, where we had 3 pieces of stock remaining. Other than that, it took a pandemic to break our track record. So we're very proud of that. So it means if you want a Mosaic apartment, you do have to buy them off the plan. And settlement rate, so everyone who buys settles. Okay, it's not good luck, it's actually extremely good management. I'd like to say it's by me, but it's not. It's from Trina, Anthony and the team. Constant communication that goes out to our clients to making sure they're aware of, you know, from construction updates all the way through to settlement inspections, so everyone knows exactly what's going on. And it also ties into this valuation success. So Anthony and our founder and managing director, Brooke Monaghan. They report to banks and valuation firms on a quarterly basis, sharing a lot of information to make sure that they understand what's going on in the market, and they also give us a lot of information, and they also help us setting the pricing as today's pricing. So what you're buying is today's pricing in a rising market. So it's a fantastic time, and that's why we're doing so well at the moment. So for those who can't see, just down this little corner here, 0% vacancy rate. So we're very proud of that. It's not really hard to do in this market at the moment, especially when you've got exceptional product like what we deliver. But we've maintained that over the 5 years that I've been at Mosaic Property Group. Look, I can go on, I guess, about those things for a while, but that's, I guess, our business model up here. You can see acquisitions, design, marketing, communities, all the way through property management, foundation, operations and finance. So very, very proud of the business model that we have here, but what it means is we deliver consistently to our clients. So from our early days, when I started at Mosaic, we were developing properties that were designed with the owner-occupier in mind, low-scale amenities, typically, low-scale projects, 15 to sort of 50 packs being as large. What we've sort of transitioned into now is, and that's based off the feedback of all of our owners, is starting to put world-class amenity to each one of our projects. And I know I haven't been up there. We're settling down a project on the Sunshine Coast, and Anthony just came back from there yesterday eventually, where he's explaining and sent me through photos of the gymnasiums, the pools. It's just unbelievable. And of course, we've got a number of projects, and I'll play some videos after the presentation today of some completed projects that we've done in the past, and you can see that beautiful amenity that we're now incorporating into our projects. But what that means is we're sort of scaling up a little bit in size. So that means our projects now typically sit between 50 and 150 apartments. And it's all, I guess, tied into that beautiful design, and we're keeping those apartments. So our point of difference when we launch a project was we're typically 10 to 25% larger with our apartments. Over and above that, we've got a beautiful level of finish. So we operate in affordable luxury to luxury space. And we'll also touch on that very, very exclusive high-end luxury in our Masterpiece series in all of our projects. So of course that's the amenity, and of course location is critical. All right, so that's off the back of our research team. For Brisbane, we operate in that 2 to 7K radius from the Brisbane CBD. I guess areas that are fundamentally undersupplied. All right, so you won't see us in Newstead, Hamilton. We operate in those areas that they're really not seeing a lot of supply, and Toowong is a perfect location for us, and we'll talk about the inner west, but it's all off the back of research. We look at what's in the area, we look at the location, and then we look at the level of finish, which is fine. And that's tied into the level of finish into the location. There's some beautiful projects. So I'll skip through. We've got 3 core markets: Brisbane, Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast. Actually, I'll pause on this one. This is one we're sort of settling down at the moment. In Maroochydore, look, to give you an idea on the buyer profile inside of there, it's an acre of north-facing riverfront land there. Our first sale in there was a top floor, which sold for $6 million off the plan. Some 2 years ago, this river building sold out very, very quickly. Now, if we were to launch that in the market today, or put that property up for sale, it would be worth $7 million. It is an absolutely stunning apartment. So the next one underneath it was...
we actually have an offer for one of our clients who's about to settle of $450,000 on one of the homes.
So for those who can't hear, so we've had an offer on one of our high floors, $450,000 over. That's at settlement over the purchasing price. So the rest of the riverfront building sold out for between $1.8 and $3 million. So yeah, very exciting project, that one that we're settling down at the moment on the Sunshine Coast. And of course, as I alluded to before, that gives us a consistency. Mosaic Construction builds all of our projects. We do have one exception to that, which is on the Gold Coast, which is a high-rise Bella by Mosaic, which is built by, I guess, one of your largest construction firms, Hutchinson's. So track record of delivery, it's something we call our Renderverse reality. Once again, we're very proud of. So when you're looking at your marketing renders today, I want you to know that's exactly how these buildings are going to look. So this project on the left, that was the one I spoke about earlier, Swan Road, Taringa, 16 beautiful oversized luxury 3-bedroom apartments. Average price point for that project was $1.23 million. Yeah, settled down middle of last year. And that was the one that broke our perfect track record. Everything else is sold out off the plan. So on the left-hand side, you can see our marketing render. On the right-hand side, you can see our professional photography from the same angle. And we've got that, which I'm sure Elba can share if anyone's interested, across the 52 projects we've delivered to date. Customer experience, look, I won't go too deep into it, but when you purchase a Mosaic apartment, the communication along the way, and then when you actually, and I've been through it myself as an owner occupier, when they hand the keys over and you're walking through your apartment for the first time, it's, for those who've bought new cars recently, we try and make that experience exceptional, all right? So, customer experience team, and they're not just finished when they hand the keys over as well. A lot of our projects, we now have e-concierge or concierge. All right, so that means you can book areas out via an app and communicate through to Mosaic very, very quickly. So Toowong snapshot. Hopefully everyone knows where Toowong is in the room. Yes?
Yes, sure.
Fantastic, that's a good start. Really good start. So less than 4 k's away from the Brisbane CBD. The area is aspirational for anyone who lives, I guess, from that sort of Paddington, Barton stretch all the way through Indooroopilly, Chapel Hill out to Kenmore. For those downsizers or people who want to get in close to the city, they'll stop at Toowong. That's as close as they typically get from that inner west pocket. So beautiful location there, 4 kilometres away from the CBD, underpinned by, I guess, a large shopping centre, number of hospitals, great educational precinct, so it's tied in via the river to your University of Queensland. So I'll get into that education. I might even let Elva talk about the education. But in amenity-rich suburbs, once again, because we're operating in that very close proximity to the CBD, we have a lot of existing infrastructure already in place and some exciting new infrastructure coming in. So typically, if we're comparing this to one of your greenfield suburbs, we know that when the government's spending money, and we call it the effortless advantage, what they're going to do is spend it in that proximity where there's a lot of people in around. So they spend it nice and close to the city. Right, so you look at your cross river rails, you look at your live entertainment precincts, all those sort of big key infrastructure projects, even your green bridges through Brisbane, all nice and close to the city. So very limited supply inside of there because there's a lot of character protected houses. So it is an area that's hard to get projects off the ground, very difficult. So we're very pleased to be bringing you this project today. So education, once again, tied into Brisbane Boys College, QUT, and a number of great schools, Toowong Primary School, as well as you've got Indooroopilly High School as well. So, and the University of Queensland, and the University of Technology is not too far away as well. So it's right in that median sort of price point. So, Elva, did you want to go over the schools yourself, or?
Yes, sure. I just go with Chinese very quickly, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. 就是因为咱们今天来大部分都是华人朋友嘛，10有8九都会问关于学校的问题。如果是大学的话，我相信大部分大家应该都知道吧，就是昆士兰大学在St Lucia，也就是说在Toowong的旁边。如果是QUT的话，距离这边也不远。然后在此呢，我主要是介绍的是公立和私立周边的小学还有中学。也就是说，我今天看了看，好像做家长的那个朋友们来的也不是特别多，就稍微go through一下。如果我们查学校的话，其实这部分大家私下等会儿可以问我们公司著名的母亲 Katie， 然后还有另外一位著名的母亲 Olivia， 他们的孩子基本上都已经是有上私校有上公校，对学校是特别了解的。但如果是公校的话，我们离这个项目最近的是Toowong State School。然后大家知道，如果是查学校的话，一般是 My School 这个网站是比较权威的。如果是大家看的话，其实主要就是看这里。这个澳洲把学生分为4个档次，只看这个。如果是在 Top Quarter 的话，在Toowong State School 的话，是超越这个这个澳大利亚的平均水平的，高达58%。然后一般来说，那个3个分数来说，一般超过1000的都是好的学校。我们很快的go through一下，因为关于学校有好几个。OK，next one please。那下一个比较知名的公立学校就是 Indooroopilly State High， 是在 Indooroopilly Westfield 的旁边，那距离这个项目来说也很近，开车5分钟就到了，一样的，然后都在1000分以上，这个还更高一些，超过60%的都是在 Top Quarter。Next one please。下一个是 Brisbane Boys College， 是在Toowong Village 旁边，大家应该听说过吧？这是男孩最好的，应该是最好的私校 BTC。然后是73%都是在 top 的，然后距离我们的项目是3分钟车程，走路估计10分钟就能到。那下一个就是据说就是类似于中国的这个奥数班 ，Queensland Academy for Science Mathematics， 从这个名字上也能看出来是自然啊、科学呀、数学这一类的学霸级的啊，更高83%。
Sorry.
Oh, that's all right. 5 minutes. Next one. I don't know how to pronounce it. Actually.
Ingus or okay.
Never mind.
Ignatius, thank you.
Non-government 的意思就是还是个私校，非常好的私校。我自己的孩子因为才4岁半，然后因为隔离在国内已经1年多，所以我先说一下，我个人不是我公司著名的母亲，我是著名的工作狂。所以，然后这个学校也是在80%靠谱这儿，然后离我们的项目是3分钟。Next one, please. I don't know how to pronounce this one as well.
Oh, really?
Doesn't matter. 随便看一个。
Stewart Home, you nailed it.
Stewart Home.
Stewart Home, yep.
Stewart Home. Okay. English learning. Okay. 然后这个也是一样的，也就是说它旁边的学校都是很好的那一类，我们也没有放最差的那一类跟大家比较，对不对？所以都是在1000分以上，然后是 top quarter 都是超过60%，就我们项目5分钟。然后下一个是在 Brisbane Stay High， 这个就是说在距离上会更近，然后哪怕这个是布里斯班最好的公校，分数是在1000比左右。然后大家可以看到 top quarter 的话，67%。那土邦附近呢，其实跟它其实还更好，就是说。Okay, next one.
So all the distances, we'll share all this information with you. So what we're printing out is, I guess, you know, localities in and around how far away they are. So.
Yeah. 就是我们的项目的地址是在36 Selwyn Road，离各个大学，如果是大学生的朋友的话，就离这些大学的话也很近，都是在开车10分钟左右的路程。Yes, 这边进10 minutes.
Perfect. Thanks, because I guess it's really important. I guess the education that's in around that inner west is the best inside of Brisbane.
Yeah.
So. Albert did want to highlight that out. Of course, we're close to hospitals as well, which is really important. We've got the Wesley Hospital, very close proximity. We also have West Private Hospital, Westside Private Hospital. Regatta Ferry Terminal is very close by, so public transport doesn't get any better than this. We've got ferry, train, and also the bus stopping directly outside the front of the project. So perfect location. Okay, lifestyle and entertainment, so very close to Suncorp Stadium. The new Queen's Wharf Casino project's not too far away as well. Botanical Gardens. Look, we all know Toowong in the area. I won't go drill too deep. Myself, Anthony, Trina, and the Matrix Global staff will all be available afterwards if anyone's got any questions on what's happening in around Toowong in terms of amenity. There is a slight expansion. So where the Kensington is on Sylvan Road. But located on the corner of Sylvan Road and Coronation Drive, you can see down here is an iconic Brisbane pub called the Regatta Hotel. It's undergoing, I guess, a little bit of a transformation where they're extending that out as well. So a beautiful new rooftop bar. So some of the big projects inside of Brisbane. So we do have, and I can't read any of this from side on, but I remember most of it. But we've got the Queen's Wharf Casino project, and we've also got the Cross River Rail. So there's a lot going into Brisbane at the moment, and I guess with the Olympic Games, very, very exciting, 2032. Brisbane's the front runner. It's going to bring a lot more infrastructure, I guess, ahead of schedule. So that's what happens when you deliver those games. So once again, it's that effortless advantage. Someone else is spending money and increasing or improving, I guess, everything in around the Brisbane city itself. We do have a pedestrian bridge which is going into Toowong. It's earmarked to go and land right on that ABC site. All right, so for those who are looking at it, it's coming from West End across to Toowong. It will be pedestrian only. You can ride your bikes across, of course, but if you drive your car across, you will get in trouble. So there's no cars on there, no buses that'll run across, but it's a great connection for West End back into Toowong. And that's it from the actual council site. So as an area, once again, it's underpinned by a lot of demand for people wanting to go to the area. You can see average visits per property. It is a high demand market in Toowong. So when we're talking, what have we got here? So the demographic of the buyers inside of the area. So highly educated, so 53% university educated as opposed to the Greater Brisbane of 19%. If you took that across the whole of Queensland, it drops down to about 7% university educated. So you've got a lot of educated people in around there. You've got higher wages when compared to the average as well. And we can see our population growth is going to be very strong for that area itself, because what we're seeing at the moment, what's putting a lot of pressure on this housing market is that interstate migration that's coming through. When we're talking unemployment, 4.4%. I don't think I'm living in Toowong if I'm unemployed. Must be university students. It's a beautiful suburb. So when you compare it to the national average of 7%, it's very, very low unemployment area. It's quite an affluent area inside there. Toowong will be Brisbane's next $1 million suburb. Okay, we've got a handful of them at the moment, but it'll be the next $1 million suburb. So you can see some $430,000 above the average price of Brisbane property inside of there as well. High demand rental market. So you can see some of the prices in here. The average for a 2-bedroom apartment looks to be $485. We're very, very confident we'll smash that out of the park and sit between that sort of $650 to $700. I've seen some of the product that's renting in around Toowong for that $600 a week, and it's not flash at all. So we'll, once again, high yields for the area when compared both to Sydney and Melbourne, and of course Brisbane in total. So we're going for a great area. And what drives that as well, it's important to know those fundamentals. You've got a lot of uni students who love to live in Toowong who go to UQ. So we're not building properties for them. If we are, they've got very nice parents. But typically they soak up a lot of that cheaper rental inside of an area and put a lot of pressure on that property market. So that's what we're looking for in Toowong. So supply is a really critical thing to sort of understand of what's actually happened in Brisbane. If we remember back to 2016 and 17, we were in that peak apartment supply. All right, so Brisbane for equilibrium needs around 5,000 apartments each year to keep up with demand. All right, we overshot the mark in 2016 and 2017. There was a lot of rubbish product amongst that. All right, so a lot of developers came out and they bought a parcel of land, chopped it up as small as they could, and delivered as many widgets as they could to try and make as much money as they possibly can. That flew against absolutely everything that we believe in. So we were the direct opposite. We're building larger, more well-appointed apartments. All those developers that delivered that stock, they don't develop anymore. All right, so it's just the guys with track records at the moment that can bring products to market. So we can see here since 2016 and 17, the actual supply of apartments drops off the face of a cliff, driven by banks saying, we're not going to be a part of your projects anymore. We actually deal with all the tier 1 banks. Doing the right thing does pay off eventually. All right, so it puts us in a great position to be able to launch projects when no one else can. So if we look at the supply, it is really dropping off the face of the cliff for the coming years. Of that diminishing supply, all right, we can see it's falling in the inner north and the inner south. Our inner west, our main competitors at the moment is ourselves, because we're the only ones who can launch projects. So in the inner west, you've got Mosaic or Mosaic. So if you like Toowong, yeah. All right, so projects we've delivered in the past, I won't go too much into this, but you can see on that we're very experienced in the inner west. So we've completed 4 projects to date in Indooroopilly alone, and we're about to settle down our 5th one, and we'll launch another one in the near future as well. We can see 2 projects here in Toowong. The last project we released there was September last year, and within, I think 3-4 weeks from launching the project, we'd sold through about 70%, and it didn't take us long to close out the rest of that project. Auckland Flowers, an award-winning project there as well. So you can see we're very experienced. Once again, Amparo was the last project we settled down in the inner west. That was 16 high-end luxury apartments, and as I mentioned before, average price in there of 1.23 million. On the hill there at Swan Road, Taringa, and of course, Vive was a project we settled down before that. So 29 boutique apartments very close to the Indooroopilly train station there. Henry currently under construction, a lot of demand in around that area still for that project. Sold out once again in very quick time. So hopefully you're getting the idea. When we launch projects, we sell them very quickly. I still get at least 6 phone calls a week on this project because my number's up on a little sign out the front of it. It's not advertised anywhere because we're sold out, and we have been sold out for some time. Very exciting to be settling this project down very soon. And then we go to the Patterson. Once again, launched late last year, sold through in record time. You can see here, and to put a price point on some of those luxury sky homes, so we delivered 8 luxury sky homes in the project, which range from between 2.55 million through to 3.3 million. Once again, sold out in record time. So I sold 6 of those 8 Sky homes inside of the first 4 weeks. So very much the same as the Kensington project in the way that it started out with 66 apartments, but through those apartment amalgamations in the project, we actually delivered 62 apartments there, price points starting from 630,000. So